Hi adorable friends, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my January 2023 bullet journal setup. In this video, I'll be setting up the second weekly, the third, and the fourth. If you're interested in part 1, where I'm setting up the cover page, the reflection page, the monthly reflection page, and the first weekly, I will link the video below so you can click on that one and watch that video as well. So let's start. Enjoy the video. This is the second weekly of the month, and I'm setting up the pine trees here for each of the slot for the days. There will be 7 of them, and then one at the end I will leave that for the calendar and a little scene that is depicting the sledding by creatures. So for this weekly spread, I decided that for each of the day slot, I will have a different color as the frame. So you see me here doing the lining of the different slots of the days. As usual, I like to make sure that I use the same color palette. So you see sometimes I use purple and sometimes I use this teal green blue for the outline. So now I'm just writing up the name of the month in cursive here, and I'm always quite nervous whenever I do it in some sort of calligraphy like this because I don't think I have the best penmanship. So I often first write it down in pencil and then I retrace it, but sometimes even when I do it in pencil, I'm not too happy with the result, but this one I think is quite okay. Then I also write up the name of the days and the dates, and that's the spread done. Now for the third weekly, this is something that I'm quite proud of because I came up with this layout myself. I've never used this layout before and I was trying to figure out something a little bit different, so I'm quite happy that I came up with this. So basically this middle part right now that I am coloring in is where I'm going to put the creatures, and then the days will be surrounding them with the name of the month in the middle, and then the calendar a little bit kind of stretched out at the bottom. Here I am putting on the snow on the part where I'm going to put the creatures sledding by using a white gel pen, and just slowly putting down the scenes here with the pine trees and a tiny one to have a little bit of a layer because I think it looks a little bit more dynamic, and the fox that will be the center picture for this weekly spread. Then I outline all of these different boxes. As you see, this style is kind of like rounded style, and I like to diversify the different colors. So this time I also use the pink as one of the boxes colors, and I like to kind of like alternate them. And this is where I line them up because I think it gives a little bit more kind of like pop from the page itself when it has these alternate lines inside the boxes. And now just quickly writing up the calendar for this weekly spread. And last but not least, writing out the name of the days and the name of the month. I tend to actually do this last because I like to see how everything laid out first before I write down the names of the days, and because it's also using kind of like a more permanent marker, and that's why I always leave it at last. We're now ready to set up the fourth weekly of the month, and for this one I wanted to have a different design than the previous one. So you see here it's not rounded at all, it's quite simple, just vertical lines. And the way that I do it, because this is the week where we have 9 dates of the week, well, 9 dates of the rest of the month basically, I split them up into 3 sections, and each section has these 3 different dates, and I have just different colors that lining up these different date slot: purple, green, and pink. So I'm now setting up the scene for this page with the bear in the middle, and then afterwards I'm just working on the calendar as usual. And for this one, it's a little bit more stretched, the calendar itself. As you can see, there's a space between each of the vertical lines of the dates, so to say, to kind of fill in the page. Sometimes I do that in purpose. And last but not least, just writing up the name of the days and the dates. As you can see here, we're going back to the calendar page because I feel it's a little bit too plain and too soft, so I decided to use these little pine trees to give a little bit more dimension to the page. And I also decided to use these black lines as the ground for the trees to make it a bit more pop from the page. Last but not least, let's record the theme of this month in this monthly theme record page, I guess that's what you call it. So what I do is that I just make a little scene on this little box and record the color combo, and then throughout the year this page will fill in. As the last thing, let's do a quick flip through of the entire completed setup for January 2023. And yeah, I'm quite happy with the way this entire spread turned out. Thank you so much for joining me up to this point. I am very happy to have you be part of the entire journey. I hope to see you next time around. Really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. Thank you again and have a wonderful day. Bye.